Whether you love her or hate her, there's no denying that there's something about Cardi B people just can't get enough of. She's shockingly candid about even the most intimate details of her life.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Yet she managed to keep tying the knot a secret from her fans. Recently, things have gotten out of control, even by her standards, like when she threw a shoe at fellow star Nicki Minaj. Just what has pushed Cardi past the breaking point? We'll talk about her tumultuous relationship with Offset, baby culture, and why Cardi may be thinking of a career change.
Girl have beef with me, she gonna have beef with me forever.
Although Cardi B comes across as a take-no-nonsense kind of person, she often finds herself making questionable decisions when she falls in love. Way back before she was famous, Cardi found herself in an unhealthy relationship she describes as controlling. Her boyfriend would constantly order her around, and because of her financial status, Cardi felt powerless to leave him. The couple was living with his mother in squalor, sleeping on a bed infested with bedbugs. Cardi was miserable, and the only thing on her mind was getting out of her awful living situation and away from her boyfriend. While some people look down on her time spent as an exotic dancer, to Cardi B, dancing gave her her freedom. Making money meant she could finally look towards the future instead of obsessing over how she was going to survive the day. If you've ever wondered what dancers chat about backstage, apparently they offer some pretty sound financial advice. Her fellow dancers advised Cardi to work while she could and set aside money so she could retire. Cardi had learned that money equals freedom, so she decided to work. When it comes to utilizing social media to build an empire, Cardi was truly ahead of her time. She started an Instagram account and before long had amassed such a huge following that she was getting paid to make appearances in certain clubs and had no shortage of people wanting to see her. And this was all before Cardi had ever stepped foot in a studio or actually created any music. Cardi realized that she'd been thinking too small and decided to levy her social media following into a legitimate musical career. Most musicians focus on creating music and then grow a following afterwards based on the people who enjoy their sound. But Cardi did things her own way by racking up millions of fans and then releasing music to a ready-made audience. It may sound crazy, but it worked. When Cardi joined the cast of Love and Hip Hop, she wasn't about to settle for a career in reality television like many of the other cast members. She utilized the resources the show offered to create music and gained many new fans throughout her short stint on the show. According to Cardi, the producers were eager to paint her as an uneducated dancer, but she refused to act like anyone other than herself, and in this regard, she definitely knew what she was doing. It was only a matter of time before she signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Atlantic Records, and in no time, we suddenly couldn't stop singing Bodak Yellow. Although she had left her controlling boyfriend far behind at this point, Cardi B's dating life was still raising serious eyebrows. In January 2017, she and Migos star Offset collaborated on her song Lick, and almost immediately people suspected the two celebs were in a relationship. The two were seen hanging out together at the Super Bowl, and were often spotted showing some serious PDA. Despite their seemingly obvious relationship, this was one area of her life where Cardi chose to play coy, even referring to Offset as the boy during interviews. Later on, Cardi would confess that she and Offset were crazy about each other, but both of them were afraid of getting hurt, so they held back from their relationship in many ways. In September of 2017, Cardi B and Offset secretly tied the knot, and none of their fans had the slightest idea what had happened. In fact, a few months later, it looked as though they'd broken up since Cardi called herself single on social media. But later, she claimed the post was about an intense blanket-related dispute between the couple and clarified she and Offset were just fine. Over the course of their relationship, Offset was often seen lavishing expensive gifts on Cardi, including a custom $60,000 necklace. Still, fans were shocked when Offset made a huge public proposal to Cardi after less than a year of being together. According to Offset, he proposed publicly because he was just so proud to be with Cardi. He even presented her with yet another shockingly expensive gift, a $500,000 engagement ring. By the way, in case you forgot, these two had already been married for over a month before this extreme public display of affection took place. Shortly after that is when the serious cheating allegations started. Cardi's iCloud account ended up getting hacked, leaking some rather private photos and videos of her. But pointing out her past as an exotic dancer hardly fazed Cardi. Much more upsetting were the photos of another woman taken by Offset, who was definitely not Cardi. Despite this, Cardi Cardi made it abundantly clear she planned on standing by her man, regardless of his infidelity. When fans criticized her for singing about him so frequently, she pointed at her lavish engagement ring and told the haters to mind their own business. When it came out that Tristan Thompson had cheated on Khloe Kardashian while she was pregnant with their daughter, as someone who was dealing with infidelity herself, Cardi reached out to Khloe and offered some words of advice. She stated, "Do what your heart feels like is right. At the end of the day, everybody wants to act like they're dating deacons and pastors and their relationship is perfect, but you don't know what type of things are going on in their relationship." Cardi seemed to adopt the "nobody is perfect" mantra when it came to dealing with Offset's infidelity. And it wasn't long before the rumors that Cardi was pregnant started up. At first, she denied them, claiming she was simply gaining a little bit of weight. But in April 2018, she revealed her pregnancy during an episode of Saturday Night Live, and a month later shared the fact that she had been married for quite some time. According to Cardi, she wanted to keep these important life events secret for as long as possible. Many people wondered how becoming a mother would impact her musical career, but Cardi claimed there was no way she was going to be slowed down. She also pointed out that nobody was asking Offset how his impending fatherhood was going to impact his career. And then baby culture was born. Cardi admitted that pregnancy and giving birth were way harder than she thought it would be, but at the same time, she was ecstatic to have her daughter in her life. She was positively thrilled and totally in love with little Culture, and it seemed as though her life was finally going to settle down somewhat. Except that it turns out the drama was just starting to ramp up. Text messages dating back to just a couple of weeks before Culture's birth revealed Offset trying to orchestrate an intimate meeting with two other women. Apparently, Offset had been trying to get Summer Bunny and Cuban Doll to connect with him and offered to fly them to his location. Allegedly, the photos and texts were leaked by an enemy of Cuban Doll in an effort to make her look bad. As if this wasn't enough, there were also rumors of Cardi fighting with a woman who had claimed she slept with Offset just a little while after Culture was born. Not only has Cardi B been dealing with a tumultuous relationship with Offset over the year, but she's had some heated exchanges with fellow star Nicki Minaj. The two have been feuding for years, mainly through social media. Regardless, both Nicki and Cardi refused to acknowledge it and would even occasionally praise one another. Then suddenly, for no apparent reason, they'd be back to slinging shade over some real or imagined slight. It seemed as though this was just one of those feuds. Some speculated that it didn't actually exist and was nothing more than manufactured drama for attention. But that was before Cardi B was throwing a shoe at Nicki's head during a fancy party.
Who throws a shoe? Honestly.
During New York Fashion Week, witnesses claim they saw Cardi approaching Nicki in an aggressive manner, only to be promptly stopped by security. In the scuffle, Cardi took off one of her shoes and threw it at Nicki. The shoe didn't cause any damage, but Cardi did. She ended up with a goose egg on her head, while security promptly escorted her off the premises. When telling her side of the story, Cardi claims she was just trying to talk to Nicki about her alleged negative comments directed toward Culture, as well as liking comments from others criticizing her parenting. She said she was just trying to get things out in the open and have a calm, rational discussion that didn't involve hurling footwear. Nicki has an entirely different outlook on the situation and claims Cardi's behavior was mortifying. A few days after the incident, she claimed Cardi had ordered attacks on women she believed had slept with Offset while the two of them were together. Nicki alleged that Cardi was on the warpath and anyone getting in her way had better watch their back. Sure enough, shortly after the interview, Cardi was charged with assault and reckless endangerment. She was accused of attacking two female bartenders she believed had been intimate with Offset. One of the women, Jade, denied the allegations and claimed that Cardi had ordered a separate attack on her and had been threatening her for months. After all of this, Cardi and Offset finally announced their relationship was over, and that while they still love one another as friends, Cardi claimed she had no romantic love left for Offset. But apparently, the feeling is far from mutual. Offset has made posts about his love for Cardi on social media and even surprised her at a show with tons of roses and apologies. We're starting to think he's been watching too many romantic comedies. That said, somehow these attempts to win her back seem to be actually working. Cardi claims she can't predict the future, and she and Offset have been spotted together in public over and over again. She claims they're just hooking up. Somehow, we're not completely convinced because Offset is back to lavishing her with expensive presents once again. As if her relationship drama and legal troubles weren't enough, Cardi has also been undergoing a difficult time with her daughter. Poor little Culture was stricken with a terrible cold and had to be hooked up to a machine machine in order to help her breathe. Cardi revealed she wasn't getting any sleep and had to provide round-the-clock care for her sick baby. Cardi is also facing a lawsuit from her former manager, Clenord Raphael, who is suing her for $15 million. He claims she breached their contract, while Cardi claims Raphael was trying to control her life and take advantage of her naivety. To make matters worse, Cardi's own father, Carlos Almanzar, is being called to testify on behalf of Raphael, and there are rumors Offset will be receiving a subpoena as well. Although Cardi's future looks anything but certain at this point, she's still managing to keep her head up. She's even spoke about going back to school and getting her college degree. Back when she was struggling to scrape by, getting a degree wasn't high on her priority list. But now, with all of her fortune and fame, she wonders if she might be able to complete her education. Cardi said, "Why not? It's never too late to make your dreams come true. Sometimes it's just a matter of juggling things to create the right atmosphere and the perfect conditions." Kudos for Carly for keeping her head up. And until she makes the official move to college, we're over here stuck wondering what her major would be. We'll just have to wait to find out, considering all that's going on in Cardi's life at the moment. Now that you know a little more about her past and what she's faced with at the moment, what do you think the future holds for Cardi B? Leave us a comment with your thoughts about this star, her current husband, and her future. Then click on the subscribe button for more from TheTalko. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.